Allegations. What allegations? Or like, accusations, I guess.
Let's address these allegations that the entirety of the community of Overwatch seems to be at least aware of at this point. I have notes in front of me, so if you see me looking down, it is because I'm trying to be organized without literally reading a script. I mean, there is no script here. It may look like a script, but there is no script. It is.
He plays like Ecliptical and me? Oh, damn.
Thoughts organized.
Word?
The allegations that I'm aware of at this point are that I neglect my children, I'm anti-LGBTQIA+, I'm a Nazi, apparently I'm still considered to be a member of the KKK, I am unemployed, I groomed my wife, which is insane to say out loud, applies reaction, which obviously was a lot of what sparked this whole chaotic mess. And not that that's
a member of the KKK. How the fuck does that happen? Wait, what? A member of the KKK, dude. That's actually crazy. Yo, this is not real. That's not real. That's not real.
In general, at the end of the video, there will be chapters.
That's troll. He's getting trolled.
You want to go?
He's getting trolled.
You don't care about anything else. Totally fine. Skip to that one. It's okay. I'm going to throw this disclaimer out there, though, before I say anything about any of the allegations. My request to you is very clear. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Do not be disrespectful to me or anybody else in my comment section. It takes me or one of my moderators 2 seconds to hide your account.
Oh, shit.
Please don't make us do that. You are welcome to leave criticism in the comments. You are even welcome to be critical of me. What will be blocked is people who are clearly rage baiting and people who are clearly just...
Yo, careful. He's got the iron on his hip. He'll fucking get you out of that comment section real quick.
This whole I neglect my children thing based on a very, very, very deeply out of context clip. As is, you'll find a theme as we continue. Basically, what was going on there is my kid was crying. My youngest son, Cassian, was crying in the background. My stream is actually in our bedroom.
I can already tell what's about to happen. Okay, I can imagine this is actually, like, out of context. Because I bet you his kid just cries in the background and he just continues playing the fucking game. And people think he is ignored. That's kind of funny, though. That's funny.
And he's 6 months old, so he has a bassinet that's next to our bed. So he was being put down for bed about that time. And my wife was with him. So he was not being neglected. My wife is a stay-at-home mom. So her entire life is built...
Oh, yeah, he quit his job and she's a stay-at-home mom. I wonder how they've... Is he still... Are they both jobless right now?
Around making our home wonderful and raising our children in a very direct, consistent way while I continue to earn a living and provide for the family. That's not everybody's way of
I thought you quit your job. What do you mean? Making a living?
Fine. If something else works better for you and your family, that's great. But for us, her being a stay-at-home mom and homemaker has been a huge blessing, not only for my children, but for me when I come home from work. It is a very big deal. Kids
come home from work. Don't you work from the house? Or does he... Unless like you rent a different place for streaming, though. That's weird, though. If you're especially on your budget.
Some of you, I don't think, have ever had children, which is fine. But you do need to be a little more sensitive to the fact that kids cry. That's just their way of communicating. They cry when they need change. They cry when they're hungry. They cry when they're cold. They cry when they're hot. You get the idea? They cry a lot. Okay. And if you've watched any of my streams for more than just that one...
Buddy, he said he doesn't have a job. What does he mean when he comes home?
Literally
from work. He was like, what?
For a scrim team. I walk away after that game. When I'm done with the game and my wife needs something, I have a BRB scene specifically so that I can walk away from my stream and people know that I'm gone for a minute. Because my wife does need my help sometimes. My streams also lie about the middle of them is when my kids go to bed. I usually walk away from here for a minute to go say goodnight to them, tuck them in, and then I come back. The audacity for people to think that I don't care about my children or that I'm neglecting them is astronomical. Let's talk about the LGBTQIA plus community, because I do want to say before I say anything else, I have nothing but kindness and love in my heart for you.
Okay.
Yes, I have my own personal beliefs as a Christian, but those beliefs
he is religious.
Anchored by the idea that you are to love your neighbor as yourself. And I know that while the Bible calls many of the LGBTQIA plus,
I don't care about this.
And I want to give the context to me right.
Holy soldiers! How long did he talk about this? A whole 3-4 minutes. Jeez. I mean, I don't care about this. I could care less.
Let's talk about the fact that evidently, according to the internet, who is so wonderfully versed in history, that I am a Nazi, according to them. So, I mean, you're seeing the image on your screen right now. Fair enough that you see that at first glance, but there are two key important things. Number one is the one thing.
Why would he throw his hands up like that?
It looks like would have answered. For
Yo, he saw what happened with Elon,
hand.
buddy. Why is he doing this?
An actual Nazi salute. It would have been my right hand, and your left hand, you would have been shot and killed in the Nazi Germany. So, little history lesson for you there. But the more important thing is that was a screenshot from one of my videos that was taken completely out of context where I used that motion. You are welcome to go watch it. I have referenced it on my Twitter. You can go check that out.
Right.
It is a direct link to the timestamp, and then you can go back and look in context. I was discussing the fact that I was kind of using the motion to project the future. It had nothing to do with Nazi Germany, and the fact that so many people—
That's crazy that he has to talk about this. Okay, okay. As dumb as that sounds, I do dumb motions and say dumb stuff, so what do I know?
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to offend you, but at the same time, please use your brain. That on its own was—
Funny just said that! Don't steal his lines! That's not cool!
Really not as big of a thing for me that I was concerned about, but then there were a couple of other coincidences that I'm getting into now that kind of tied in with it, and unfortunately started to provide each other—
Honestly, if you have a hairline like that, it might just be better to go bald.
I kind of understood why people saw it after it was explained to me.
You can't line it up at all.
Tiers used to be starting with the letter K, and there were 3 of them, so people kind of associated KKK. Now, if it was just normal words that started with the letter K, I could understand why people would be reading into way too much. But the word contributor, which was one of the tiers, for instance, starts with the letter C, but I spelled it with a K. The word nobility starts with the letter N, but I added the silent K at the beginning. The word crusader and contributor.
Holy fuck!
Both of those words
no
C,
way!
Use the K. Now, the reason for that is my community is referred to as the kinship, as in a brother and sisterhood. The reason I used the word kinship, by the way, is because it is a gender-neutral term. So, I used that, went forward with it, and decided I wanted to try and brand around the idea of using the letter K to keep things consistent.
Just stop. Just switch it to brotherhood and just call it a day. Why are you... This is not real. That's a script. Holy shit.
It never even occurred to me that people would read into that to that depth. But unfortunately, the thing that compounded it that I wasn't told until significantly later is that my logo over the top of a sheet
that's not real.
Very similar to some KKK.
That's not real.
Back in the day.
That's not real, dude.
Search would have taught me that, but it's not something that I ever really thought about because, in fairness, I'm not part of the KKK. However, those things that I not just
that's
and
fucking
people just
not
immediately
real.
assumed that I was a white supremacist.
This guy was like bred for doom and despair.
I can understand why you would be concerned by the combination of those 3 things. But to jump to those radical conclusions is where I'm kind of like, you guys need to stop spending so much time on the internet and actually go touch some grass. I'm going to be honest with you. So, to be clear and to recap so far, I want to be very clear. I am not a Nazi. I'm not a member of the KKK. It's so
Holy
shit. I have to say this out loud. I do not hate you if you are part of the LGBTQIA+ community. I do not neglect my children. Keeping up with me so far? Let's talk about the job situation. First of all, let's just—
you quit your job.
TLDR at the beginning. I'm employed. That probably solves it for a lot of you. But for the
he has a job? Buddy, how are you going to go pro if you have a job, you have the kids, you're scrimming in Platt, and you're Platt? You got to let all that shit go, man. Let all that shit go and just focus on ranking up, because right now it's looking grim, yo.
Rest of you that are curious about what happened, I'm going to share the story because I do think it bears relevance, and I believe because I've been so
Hitler's vessel is crazy.
Financially and of
but at this point, like, okay, the LGBT thing, I can see it. Not him being anti-LGB, but I can see the LGBTQ, whatever bullshit community being upset at him because he's Christian. I can see that. The neglecting kids, I can see how this got, like, out of context. People are stupid on the internet. But the Nazi and the KKK, how do those allegations even happen? Like, that's actually crazy. This is wild. This was a month of him being... This is like a month or 2 of him going on his pro journey. After a month or 2, he's already got these types of allegations? How the fuck does that happen?
I need to be transparent. Back in November of last year, I did leave the teller job that I referenced.
No, but I did see that on my feed, on my actual feed. I'm gonna watch that afterwards.
Finally, at the goals that I was trying to achieve at the time, which was to have a
don't tell me. We'll watch it. We'll watch it.
Debts completely paid off, but because I had been denied a promotion that I was promised from the beginning for the 4th time in a row, despite having every metric checked and then some. My manager continued to move the goalpost and say, well, you need to do this now. Well, you need to do this now. Well, you need to do this now. I needed the raise that came with that to continue to support my family at a high level. I realized I could go make
Overwatch is harder than Apex. Sorry, little buddy.
Running rideshare. So that's exactly what I did. So I was gainfully employed from the moment I left the teller job, just to be super clear. And then life happened. December 30th, I believe, I got into the car accident with the vehicle that I was using primarily to do the rideshare stuff. It totaled the vehicle. And because I had only been doing it for about a month, I couldn't go get a new auto loan. So I'm like, well, crud, now I'm in a pickle. We have one car. We are about to have...
so he still's got a job and he crashed his car? Is that what I'm getting at?
As a matter of fact, we had already had my 3rd child, and we had 2 sedans.
You got 3 kids, buddy.
And now we're
down. How the fuck are you gonna play Overwatch? You need to lock in.
Start driving that car around for rideshare, and then it
throws go for milk.
Light that was critical. You cannot
do something. You got to do something, man.
So I pulled it over, and we took it to the shop.
Go on a grocery run,
and I couldn't drive it anymore. So now what do? In essence, we still had some funds in emergency, and I'm like, you know what? The content seems to be picking up a little bit. What if I just hit the gas pedal a little bit? So I talked to my wonderful bride and was like, look, if you want me to go get another job right now, I'll go do it. Not hesitating one time. However, if you're cool with me taking a little bit of a risk for the next couple months, I'd like to. And she was completely okay with it. And by the way, that's how marriage works. Communication. If she had said, I'm not cool with it, at the end of the day, again, for me as a Christian, I'm going to die to myself and what I want to do in order to serve and love my wife. That is what I'm called to do as a Christian dude. Period. End of story. Well, because our emergency fund had dried up after that little stint of doing my best to do everything up, and I didn't have any real revenue coming in that was allowing me to support my family, even at the low level of our bills at the time, it was time for me to get a job. So I did. Didn't hesitate. As soon as the moment hit that I realized, I was like, well, we're cooked if I don't get a job. I went and got a job. My family comes first. Anybody who has watched my stream for more than maybe 30 or 45 minutes knows that. I still want to be a full-time content creator in the grand scheme of things. Competitive stuff is a short-term goal of mine. And if I fail, I fail. A lot of people think that I'm so delusional that I think that I have no chance of failure. I have a very high chance of failure, but I'm willing to fail. I don't care. Failure is part of how you learn and grow in your life. If you consistently stay inside your comfort zone, you will never grow. I am willing to push myself outside of it and fail in the worst case scenario. All right, let's talk about the accusations of...
I can't really say much about that.
Wild that people think that is actually a thing that happened. On May 7th, 2019, I posted a video about...
Wait, what? What the fuck did I just hear?
There you go. All right, let's talk about the accusations of me grooming my wife. Wild that people think that.
Okay, yeah, that's a normal accusation that you get after 1 month of doing this shit.
That is actually a thing that happened. On May 7th, 2019, I posted a video about
how does this happen?
How to essentially take care of your spouse and love on them. It's not a sexual thing. Don't get weird. I referred to my wife at the time, and a lot of you assumed that I was referring to my current wife, Rachel. Many of you don't know this because I don't talk about it a lot. I've been married one other time. She cheated, so I left because I don't put up with that crap. That's the end of it. I was married before. That was who I was referring to in that video, but I don't have any reason to remove that video because it was still some valid advice. Fast forward to now, and of course, it wasn't Rachel that I was talking about. I didn't even know Rachel then. While I don't expect you to think that I was married before or be able to figure that out, I would like to think that the collective
I have no idea what this is about.
Capable of figuring out that maybe there's a better explanation than I groomed my wife. Come on now, seriously. All right, now for the moment that many of you have probably...
I don't even know what the hell just happened.
It's not really a reaction to Apply's video. It's my response. For those that don't know, I highly encourage you to go watch it. It was a great video, and don't take what he says personally at the beginning. It was for content and humor. I'm sure there was some truth and validity.
Yeah, how does Apply even work into this? How did I not know this?
Very well put together. I thought it was a little crude, sure, a little brash, sure, but it was humor. And then he did a VOD review of my Doomfist gameplay, which you know what? I'm glad he did that, even though I'm not a Doomfist player. I'll get to that in a minute.
Yo, does he have VODs
obviously,
up?
for those of you that watch my content, you know I'm not a Doomfist player. Those were the only games that I have on Doomfist are posted.
Does he have VODs? I'll watch his VODs.
One in there. I do want to give him some credit for that.
I'm interested in seeing
to the last game of the 10, presuming that I would have.
I'm interested in seeing if this guy, like, he can't actually. Okay, sure, you're plat, right? Let's say you're plat. He can't be that bad. I mean, he's at least plat, right?
For many reasons, but the big one we're going to get to now. I really needed to swallow a very difficult pill.
Like, plat isn't.
He pointed out that
god awful. I mean, it's bad, but
was probably my biggest.
It's way better than like it's 3 ranks up. It was my than the problem. Lowest rank.
Not only was it my biggest problem, it is still currently my biggest problem. And it's interesting because I always tell you guys, mindset is everything. But for some reason, I allowed myself to have this blind spot for way too long. People have been, in crude ways, pointing it out in my comments for a while. You need to quit blaming your teammates and just focus on you. And it took me until today, actually. I was listening to an audiobook. You'll have to excuse the phrase, editor.
All right. See, now we're getting into dangerous territory. When bad things happen, who do you blame at the end of the day? And my answer will never change. It is always your teammates. Because they are animals, they are barbaric, and they are retarded. They do the most stupid shit. And if you are hard carrying, you need to blame them. Because there's literally sometimes not more you could have done. I remember a very distinct game. I'm playing Ramatra. I'm 43 and 3. 43 elims. So on average, that's like about 20 something kills because the game went the game went into overtime or whatever. And then I had 3 deaths the entire time. If I lose as a tank player with those stats, how the fuck is my team not just getting carried? Are they that bad? Yes, they are.
Please censor this. But the title is literally The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F***. That book talks about the importance of taking radical responsibility for everything that happens to you in your life. And this is something that a lot of you have tried, and even Awkward has mentioned in content that I've seen from him. He's very big on that. It's
Awkward,
one of the biggest
Jesus.
things that he talks about.
That's the tracer
for gameplay
guy.
Or for your life in general. It doesn't matter what circumstances hit you. Of course, you can't be at fault for all of your circumstances, but you can take responsibility for how you receive them and how you respond to them. So, are some games losses that were not my fault? Sure. But that doesn't matter, is the point. I can only take responsibility for what I can control. And at the end of the day,
good words to live by. Good words to live by.
If I can't solo carry a platinum game, or in the case of the Doomfist video, I think it was bronze and silver games, I'm nowhere near OWCS, which, by the way, I know.
All right, yeah. At the end of the day, that is true. Like trolling aside, after that whole spiel about blaming your teammates, that is true. Yo, I'm not a very hard carry person. I don't play a lot of like super specific like hard carry characters. And that's not really my role whenever I think about how I play the game. I would like roles in a sense are like oh, I'm a consistent player, or oh, I'm a fragger, right? I'm good at fragging. Despite you can play tank and still be a fragger. That's not me. I'm more of a consistent, I'll give you good, consistent results. But if you're in plat and you can't carry yourself out, you might deserve to be there.
You're into that. But it was a good
point. No disrespect.
I justified
but you are shit.
Soft blaming of my teammates for way too long. And what I mean by that is that I didn't outright cuss them out or flame them or get angry and slam my desk like the majority of very popular content creators do across the space. This isn't just an Overwatch issue. People love rage bait these days.
True, actually.
Because I didn't do it in a mean way, I justified it. That is on me. The way that I got into high diamond and eventually low masters on support, despite rank inflation, was that I had that self-accountability concept down to a science. There was not one mistake that I made that I didn't own and specifically call out when I made it. We're getting back to that. This was something I first heard from Awkward when I was watching his one-trick Baptiste unranked to GM when I was learning Baptiste myself. I am fully owning and apologizing for my piss-poor attitude when it comes to my teammates and not accepting responsibility for my own mistakes, and only that, because anything else is a waste of time, and I don't have a lot of it, and I got to get a grip. Let's talk about the goal calibration here.
Okay.
Obviously, Apply kind of had a goofy interpretation of the iconography that I used for the timeline. I had a really good laugh at that because the way he explained it, if that's how I really thought, yeah, it's very backwards.
So in the roadmap, he's going to get money. Well, he's going to get signed. Oh, and no, he hits Masters, gets signed, makes money, wins a championship, and then hits GM. So we're going to win a championship, and then we're going to hit GM. All right. That's a good fucking plan.
I'm going to read them
That's a
off
decent
off the
plan,
bat,
man.
but it was hit
Sorry, I forgot my
Masters,
camera was
join a
in the way.
scrim team, build financial stability with my job, participate in tournaments with my team. Hit
Yeah,
top
I'm reacting to a
25
reaction.
ranks
Yo,
NA, and push
the
for
rabbit hole
ranks.
goes deeper.
While these goals are not actually bad, nor do I think the order of them is awful, I do think there's some real criticism that I need to accept and adapt to a little bit. And
Yeah, that's a good point. That
clear
the
requirements in
awkward bring or not awkward. God damn it, fuck awkward. Yo, Apply brings up. I never actually thought, like, I was joking about it, but he's right. Like, how the fuck are you gonna get signed before you hit GM? I don't even think people under GM get signed. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Additionally, I'm going to keep it specific.
I don't know
to
any
Overwatch and leave my
below
personal
GM
life
players
out of
that
it because,
have gotten signed.
Many of you are not mature enough to hear it. The first step in this new concept is to join a scrim team simultaneously while pushing towards Masters. That's going to take me a while. I'm cool with that. I don't have a lot of time to game because my family is my priority and content's right behind it.
Yeah, I mean, he only has 1 hour to play the game, guys. Come on. Give him some fucking leeway, man. He's only got 1 hour to play the game.
Competing is my third priority in the context of what I'm talking about right now. Then after I hit Masters, the goal is then, big surprise, to hit Grandmasters and then eventually push for the top 25 tanks NA. I do understand that just being in, I believe it's Masters 1, puts you in the top 500 tanks in NA.
Yeah, that sounds
I don't
about
want
right.
to settle for that. I want to push for the very best I can go for. And then I want
Top
to compete in
25?
Yes, regardless of where I place. If I don't place in the top 50 teams,
That's a big call.
The goal of doing something that people told me that I couldn't do, so that I can prove to you, the people watching on the other side of this, the audience, people who actually like my content, you can do anything you set your mind to. Screw people who don't agree with you. From the point at which I've competed in the OWCS, if things go as well as...
Yeah, I mean, honestly, okay. I sort of kind of agree with this mindset that you can put anything you set your mind to, but you also have to be realistic about your goals. Like, there needs to be some sort of level of realism. Like, you're plat. I don't know if you're making it to top 25 tanks in the region. I'm not sure, man.
I hope they do. Maybe I'll continue competing. But either way,
Yeah,
content is what I want to
Yeah,
use
I
to
think if
support
you
my
do
family
take 10
because, again, something
melatonin
I'm
gummies, you'll be
esports
gone.
doesn't really make much money, particularly unless you're playing like the top 3 titles. Overwatch is not one of those, unfortunately. So I got to do something else to support the family. And I don't want to have a traditional job because I'm tired of working for other people because it sucks. I mean, let's all be honest on that one. So I'm going to create content while I compete. And that means I got to hire editors and all that fun stuff. I understand all of these things. Too many people think that I'm just head in the clouds, never going to come down. Man, if you just talk to me for like 30 minutes, you might find out I'm not so unreasonable of a guy. In conclusion of all of this, I want to share something with you because this is very important. Please do yourself and me a favor and be more aware of what you're doing on the internet. All of this video and all of the BS.
Don't ever say that again. I'm sorry, but you can say that as much as you want. People are always like, oh, be careful what you do on the internet and stuff like that, right? And it's a good thing to say, but are people actually going to listen? No, you're wasting your time.
Some drama we've all had to endure for the last little while could have been avoided if I had been a little bit better, number one, at communicating. That's the big one. Number two, if the community that posted and shared these content pieces had actually bothered to do just a little bit of research, they would have known that it wasn't true and it would have stopped it there. And at the third failsafe, those of you in the community that bought into what you saw, didn't share it, but bought into it silently without researching, you got to take some responsibility too. I want to be clear. You don't have
Yo,
to
I'm new
agree
here,
with
yo.
anything I say.
Don't put
I know
any
there are some
responsibility
people
on me.
who have
I'm new
political
here.
views,
I'm trying to see what's up.
and that's fine. You are welcome to hate my views. I may not like yours either. We should still be able to exist together kindly. I don't think that's too much to ask. And if it is, it says more about you than it does about me. I also want to encourage you to do something that most people don't do these days. Reach out to people that you're like, I've done my research. I can't really figure out whether or not what I'm seeing is real. If you actually are going to either perpetuate it or believe it yourself, it would behoove you to reach out to the person that is being accused of whatever it is and just ask. Have a real conversation. Some people aren't like me and won't sit down and have a Discord call with you like I've done with a handful of people over the last couple of days. But
he gives coaching?
Will sit down with you and do just that. Or at least respond to your message. At the end of the day, some people that watch this will change nothing.
That's not what I thought he was talking about.
That's up to you, man. I can't control your thoughts on it.
Gaming for Hope should coach other people. That would be content. That would be good. I haven't seen one of his... I'm going to watch one of his VODs eventually. But, if Gaming for Hope did a Patreon thing where, like, if you buy into his Patreon and you could get coached by Gaming for Hope, that could be content.
Frankly, don't care. That's
Cinema.
That's on you. I've done my best to at least give people that actually care the knowledge and clarification of where I stand with all of these things so that you can be aware of it and decide what you want to do with the information yourself. But some people at the end of the day truly just want to hate on someone that they don't understand. The amount of replies and comments that I've seen in the last couple of days that have been strongly to the effect of, no, I don't believe anything that's being spread around him about him right now. But you've got to admit, there's got to be something wrong with him. He's too kind. He's too gracious. He's too whatever positive thing. The fact that the world today is so thrown off by someone who's just being kind generally. Again, I'm not without my flaws. I'm not without mistakes. But the fact that I stand out that
he truly is human.
The response is not, wow, he's actually kind to people. That's wild. There's got to be something wrong with him. Again, that shows more about society as a whole than it does about me. I wanted to say a huge thank you to a couple of people who I know for a fact have spoken out against the
Is it just me? Dude, I'm sorry. I've been thinking this for like the last 10 minutes.
My brain is
it just me, or does this guy
that's not really my point, but
look like that one baby, the buff baby from Boss Baby? You know what I'm talking about? That's all I can think about right now. I've been thinking of it for like the last 10 minutes. Like shave the head, shave the beard. Boss Baby, the one buff guy. I don't remember his name.
He was one of the more prominent figures that was jumping.
I've been thinking this for like the last 10 minutes. I cannot lie.
I agree with him, and I'm not asking you to agree with him on things. I think that believe he put it as schoolyard bullying in his tweet. It's a very apt description. I am baffled that he, let alone took the time to post that, but he actually DM'd me. I won't share what he DM'd, but I will tell you it was a very nice sentiment. It was a very kind check-in. That was more or less what it boiled down to. Spylo is truly one of the most wholesome creators that the Overwatch community has. And the fact that you
Spylo mentioned
him have not scared him off really says a lot about him. He's a great guy, from what I've been able to tell. I hope I get to meet him some point. He's just such a cool dude. Another one I do want to shout out as well is, I hope I'm saying your name right. I don't know that I've ever actually heard anybody say your name because I don't watch a lot of content these days. But I'm going to call you Derpy. I hope that's right. And we've talked about this on stream, and I think you've told me that's how it is, but I don't know.
Was that about it?
Derpy has been very supportive of my content.
I think that's it. Honestly, I think he's just giving his little props to people. Yo, honestly, kind of a crazy video, if you think about it. Because how in literally less than a month or two after you start your pro journey, you already have allegations about you neglecting your children, being hateful, being a Nazi, a KKK member, and you're unemployed. And you groomed your wife. How the fuck does that happen? That's insane timeline. Bro's speedrunning his journey of content creation. It is what it is.